My dear students, welcome to the today's online class. Today we are going to discuss basic concepts of object oriented programming. So in the last class we discussed what is a C++, what is a OOP, and just we listed the basic concepts of OOP are also called features of OOP, and afterwards we discussed one more topic very important, that is differences between procedural programming language and object oriented programming language, right? So now we are going to discuss in detail basic concepts of OOP. Okay, let us see first one. Object. What is an object? It is one of the basic concepts of OOP, and we can say that object is nothing but it is a variable of a class, right? So what is an object? A class variable is considered as object. We can say a class variable is considered as object. A object, number of objects can be declared for the class, and a object having number of functions as well as number of data in it. Let us see. See here, object is nothing but a class variable is called object. For example, in C++, let us consider one sentence: int a comma b. See here, it is one of the C++ statement. Here a and b are the variables of type int. In the same manner, obj1 comma obj2 are said to be variables of class, means obj1 and obj2 are said to be object, means they must be have a data type called class, right? So what is the definition? Objects are the class variables, means class is one of the user defined data type. If it is a data type, class is a data type, means what are the variables of that class? For example, here obj1 and obj2 are said to be variables of user defined data type class, means these class variables are considered as objects. Right? And one more thing, object has data as well as function. Object data is considered as member data, and object functions are considered as member functions. It is very important for one mark question. define an object. How we can define? Class variables are considered as object, right? Okay, next point, second point, class. Second point, class. What is a class? Class is one of the user defined data type which contains data member functions as well as number of objects for it. When a class is defined, a class may have more number of objects. Okay, so how we can define? A class is one of the user defined data type. It contains member data, member functions as well as number of objects. Okay, so let us see the class diagram. Suppose this is a class, means class contain member data 1, member data 2, so on, as well as it contain member function 1, member function 2, so on. Right? What is a class definition? Class is a collection of member data, member function with several objects. For example, this class contain object 1 and this class also contain object 2, so on. This class contain object n, object n. This is not visible, I think. See here, class contain member data, member function. So what is the class definition? Class is a collection of member data, member function with number of objects. Therefore, this class means it also contains objects. Object 1, object 2, object n. Then what happens? Then each objects are going to share these member functions of the class. Suppose a class contains member data, member functions and number of object, means what happens? Each object is going to share the member functions. This class member function is shared by object 1, object 2, so on, object n. But this member data, but each object have the copy of member data of a class. That is, this object 1 has copy of member data. This object 2 also has member data. Similarly, this object n also has member data. So this diagram represents what? Class and object concept, right? Class and object concept. See here, class is nothing but a collection of member data, member function with several objects or with object. What happens? See here, suppose class contains like this member data and a member functions means, suppose for example this class also has object 1, object so on, object n means this member function of a class is going to be shared by all the objects. It may be object, suppose maybe it may have object 1 or 2 or 3 so on n. Suppose a class has n object means all the objects are going to share this common member function. Whereas here member data is also present. Suppose n objects are there means each objects are going to have separate copy of member data. This is object n. This also has a separate copy of member data in it. So this diagram represents class and object concept, right? So what is the object? Class variables are considered as object. What is a class? Class is one of the user defined data type. It contains data member functions as well as objects. Okay, and member functions of a class are shared by all the objects. Member data and afterwards we can say each objects of a class have separate copy of member data. Okay, and the next point, encapsulation. Third point, encapsulation. What is mean by encapsulation? The wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit is known as encapsulation, or else we can say that encapsulation is a mechanism that binds together data and functions, that manipulate the data and that keeps both safe from outside interfaces and misuse. So what is the encapsulation? It is also one of the basic concepts of OOP. Now what is mean by encapsulation means, encapsulation is the process of wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit called class is known as encapsulation, or else we can say that encapsulation is a mechanism that binds together the data and functions, that manipulate the data and that keep both safe from outside the interfaces and misuse. Means in encapsulation means after declaring class, class has data member, member functions as well as object. Encapsulation means it is the wrapping up of member data and member functions in a class such a way that those data member and member functions are not misused by are not disturbed by outside the functions or outside the interfaces, and they does not misuse. Means actually these concepts are going to be clear after whenever we are able to write a C++ program using OOPS concept. Means after declaring class, suppose class contains data member as well as member functions. Suppose those data member and member functions are written in private mode, means they are not accessed outside the class. They will be hidden or they will be protected in that class only. So we can say that encapsulation is the wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit, that is class, is known as encapsulation. And the next one is data abstraction. Data abstraction. Fourth point is data abstraction. It is a mechanism of providing essential things by hiding its background details. Means this data abstraction is also one of the basic concepts of OOP. What is happening in the data abstraction means it is a mechanism of providing only essential information to the outside world and hiding their background details to represent the needed information in program without presenting the background details. Means this data abstraction provide essential information to the programmer by hiding its background detail. Means this facility is available in OOPS concept. Means this data abstraction provides essential information which are necessary necessary to write the program by hiding its background details. This facility is available in basic concepts of OOPS. For example, in general, consider a television. Then what happens after switching on? We can watch television, that is we are able to increase its volume, we are able to change channels, but we don't know how that signal is coming from, how that TV signals are coming and how that data is transferred. Means just we are going to watch the TV, we are able to change the channel, we are able to increase or decrease the volume. Means we are just taking the necessary information, but we are not bothered about how, from where that program is going to be telecasted, or how that signal is carried from that source to our destination TV channel. Means that all the television process is not bothered about how that information, how that information is coming, who is going to relay it, means that TV is going to provide what the user needs. In the same manner, in the programming also, this data abstraction, in the programming, this data abstraction provides only essential information to the user by hiding its background details. Okay, and the next topic is inheritance. It is also very, very important. Fifth topic. Fifth topic, inheritance. Inheritance. It is the process of inheritance. It is the process of creating a new class. In what is inheritance? It is a process of creating a new class called derived class from the existing class called base class. So what is this inheritance? It is also one of the basic concepts of OOP, or else we can say it is also one of the features of OOP. Exactly what this inheritance means. Inheritance is the process of creating a new class from the existing class, or else we can say that inheritance is the process of creating a new class called the derived class from the existing class called the base class. For example, this is a base class. It has feature A, feature B. Let us assume that this is a base class. This base class has two features, A and B. And next, consider one more class, that is derived class. This has same feature A comma B, above features, as well as new features like feature C, feature D. Means, see, this is a base class, means it is also called existing class. This is a derived class. It is also called new class. See, what is inheritance means? It is the process of creating a new class from the base class. What is inheritance? Inheritance is a process of creating a new class called derived class from the base class called existing class. It means, suppose one base class is there, it contains feature A as well as feature B, means this new class, derived class, is going to have above feature A feature B, as well as this derived class or new class has new additional features like C and D. It means in the derived class, feature A and feature B are inherited or we can say acquired from base class, right? These features are inherited means acquired from base class, and these C and D features are new additional features of derived class. See what is happening in the derived class. Feature A and B is also there, feature C and D is also there. In the derived class, feature A and B are inherited, or means acquired from base class. So that's why I written here A and B are inherited, acquired from base class. See here, if this derived class also has feature C and D, it means these C and D are new additional features of derived class. So this is nothing but information about inherency. And the next thing is sixth one, polymorphism. This word polymorphism is derived from two Latin word called poly means more, morphs means forms. This word polymorphism is from Latin word. Poly represents more, morphs represent form. What is mean by polymorphism means it is the ability of a function. It is the ability of a function it is the, see here, the concept of polymorphism means polymorphism means it is the ability of a function to act more forms with the same name. Means in programming, while writing programming, we can use this polymorphism concept. Means same function is there, add, int, add, int, int, like that. For example, okay, what this polymorphism says means it is the ability of a function act with more form with the same name. Means here add is one function is there, add function, second function name is also add, means same function name. Here two functions are present, both functions has the same name, but in the first function we have only one parameter, but in the second function we have two parameters. Means this first function is going to do some work with only one parameter, second function is going to do some work with two parameters. Means here the ability of a function with more forms with the same name. Means simply polymorphism means two or more functions will be there in the program, and all the functions are going to perform a different task with the same name. For example, add. Same function name is there, two functions are there, both functions are going to perform different tasks. Okay, I said already, just go through definitions right now because this is the beginning stage. After writing the program, or else we can say when we have the ability to write a program, at that time it is clearly going to understand what is inherency, what is polymorphism. For the exam point of view, he is going to ask for 1 marks, define inheritance, define class, define object, define encapsulation, define data binding, define polymorphism. Like that he is going to ask. And the one more thing, and the next point, 7th point, that is reusability. Means in hoops this facility is available, that is reusability. Means reusability of code. Means this inherency provides this facility, reusability of code concept in object oriented programming. What is mean by reusability of code? Means suppose in a program, for example here only in this class feature A and feature B is there, and next in the new class we have feature C and feature D. In the new class we need the same feature A and feature B, means it is need not necessary to write once again the code A and B. Just using the inherency concept, it is possible to acquire or inherit these base class features in derived class. This is called reusability of code. So this clears all basic concepts, that is class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inherency, polymorphism, and reusability of code. In the next class we are going to discuss in detail with syntax what is class, what is object. Okay, afterwards it is possible to write C++ program using class and object concepts. Thank you.